I'm Preston Felgoy, SCC class of 2019, and welcome to This Week in SCC Sports.
2, 1, 2. Don't stop your dreaming. Let yourself float upon an ocean. We can work it out. We can work it out, babe.
Welcome to This Week in SCC Sports. I'm your host, the voice of the Saints, Brandon Karam, SCC class of 2020. Please be sure to visit our friends at WassermanSportsNet.com for your Wasserman League news, highlights, and scores. This week we start with bowling. On Monday, the team had a match against North Warren at the Saratoga Strike Zone, with the Saints picking up the win. Terrell Tillman led the Saints with a 212 average with a 236 high. Liam Shea had a 179 average and a 206 high. And Zach Niles had a 174 average with a 214 high. On Tuesday, the team traveled to Granville, with the team again picking up a W. The Saints knocked down a total of 3,076 pins and were led by Terrell Tillman with a 210 average and a 232 high with a 3-game series of 630. LJ LaFiora had a 614 3-game series with a 204 average and a 255 high. The team also had a match on Friday away at Waterford Half Moon, with the Saints picking up their third win in the week. The Saints were once again led by LJ LaFiora with a 176 average and a 200 high, and Terrell Tillman with a 163 average and a 176 high. Now for girls basketball. On Friday, the girls traveled to Tamarack and lost 61-20. Tamarack was up 21-6 after the first quarter and 36-10 at halftime. Emma Vanderkar led the Saints with 6 points. In boys basketball, on Friday, the boys hosted Tamarack at the Broadway Gym. The JV Saints led at halftime 39-29 and held on to win 72-69. Aiden D'Agostino and Jordan Catone led all scorers with 19 points apiece. Here's Aiden D'Agostino and Coach Gargano.
I think we played well. We identified shooters.
You guys were starting to lose the lead there in the second half. What changes did you guys make?
We had a lockdown on their main scorers and just box down rebound.
Happy, very pleased with the effort. Shot the ball well. Let it slip a little bit in the second half, a couple turnovers.
The varsity had its annual senior night. Congrats to the 4 seniors, Connor Farrington, Nick Conrad, Zach Kronk, and Caden McFadden. In the game, Tamarack jumped out to an early lead after one, leading 18-6 and 26-17 at the half. The Saints fought their way back, outscoring Tamarack 29-22 in the final 2 quarters, but it wasn't enough and ended up losing 48-46. Connor Farrington led all scorers with 22 points. Here's Sean Engler and Coach Mantilla.
Well, I think we need to work on the small little things, like rebounding, going for loose balls, and just all of the little tiny things. Overall, we had a great effort, but just a heartbreaking loss.
Well, I thought Tamarack played very well. You know, they came out and put us on our heels right from the start, and we kind of were digging out of the hole the whole game. And we showed a lot of heart getting back in the game, and it just came down to the last possession, and they had a great defensive possession and were able to turn us over. So they really deserved the win.
On Saturday, the boys and girls modified teams traveled to Tamarack. The 7th grade girls lost 32-15. Allison Mahler led the Saints with 8 points. The 8th grade girls also suffered a loss 38-27. Riley Dempsey led the Saints with 9 points. Here's Coach Massey.
We played a good game. That's a good team right there, Tamarack. Nothing to hold our heads about. The one thing that I want to say though is we're losing our composure in certain parts of the game. I believe if we keep our heads, we can compete with anybody, and we proved that today. But we lose it sometimes, and that's something that we got to do a better job of is keeping our heads in tough moments.
The boys modified also struggled. The 7th grade came away with a 54-38 loss. Robbie Bowen led the Saints with 12 points and Danny Mantilla added 10. The 8th grade boys were tied at halftime at 26, but couldn't hold on in the second half, losing 59-46. Michael Tarani led the Saints with 16 points. Here's Coach Simpson.
With the 7th graders, one thing you can't teach is height. You either have it or you don't, and they had 2 7th graders who, they had to be close to 6 foot. They were tough. They beat us on the glass, but we come back stronger next game. 8th grade, they played their best basketball in the first half. Sadly, the game's 28 minutes, not 14. But I'm proud of them. That 23 kid's probably the best kid we'll see all year. And we battled for a while until he got in a rhythm, and that's basketball. We have them on Thursday, and we'll beat them then.
After the break, our talk with former longtime Saratoga High boys basketball coach and current Spa Catholic girls basketball coach, Damian Fantozzi.
At Saratoga Central Catholic School, we pride ourselves in helping each student reach their highest potential. Saratoga Central Catholic students grades 6 through 12 prepare not only for college but for lifelong learning. You'll see students engaged in AP courses, team sports, fine arts programs, and many clubs and activities. All students have the ability to participate in AP courses and extracurricular activities. Schedule a tour today and learn more about this great opportunity for your child. Visit us at saratogacatholic.org or call 587-7070.
Hi, I'm Billy Murder, SCC Class of 2019. Welcome back to This Week in SCC Sports.
Welcome back to This Week in SCC Sports. This week's guest is girls basketball coach, Coach Fantozzi. Coach, thanks for coming on the show today.
Anytime.
Yeah, no problem. So your first question is, how do you think the girls have been playing so far this year?
I think they're coming on. I mean, they picked up a lot of the stuff that I'm doing because every coach is different. So adjusting to what I'm doing had to be a challenge for them in mid-season. You know, and they're catching on, and you can start seeing better results.
What do you think your team's strengths and weaknesses are?
Well, I think, first of all, our weaknesses have been fundamentals. And every day we do something related to working on their fundamental part of the game, dribbling, shooting, whatever it may be. So I'm trying to reinforce that every day in practice. And I think they're coming around with it. You know, they're picking up a lot of things. They're getting better at it, that's the thing.
How do you think the girls will play moving forwards?
Well, I'm hoping with each game I just, you strive for improvement. And I think since I've been doing this, our first game was against Hoosick Falls, and we were like all over the place because it was my first game and they weren't too sure what I wanted to do. And then as we moved on, mechanical, etc., we got to Whitehall, build a little confidence, you know, we won that game pretty easily, and we upset Stillwater. So it shows you right there that they're coming on, they're picking up the things that I'm trying to get them to do.
We know you also coach cross country. Your thoughts on next year's team?
Well, the boys I think are going to be a pretty solid group because I've had them since they were freshmen, most of them, you know. So hopefully I have a great feeling about that team. I think we can do some good things in this league.
Coach, thanks for coming on the show today.
It's my pleasure. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Oh yeah, no problem, anytime. We will see you next week on YouTube, so stay tuned.